Hey, Howdy. Welcome to Manifesting with Ari Mac. Thank you guys for joining me today. We got some good stuff to cover because today we're going to talk about manifesting, but with how does the Virgo season affect each zodiac sign? It's a very interesting topic. I was doing the GAP program because I do the charts every single week and I go through every single chart that I have in my possession and I review where we are. And you know who the unsung hero is? Virgo. Hmm? The sign of Virgo. It's the sixth sign in the astrology, so it's smack dab in the middle. It's ruled by Mercury, but it's on the earth side of it. So it's the earthy side of Mercury. So it's the more practical, the logical, the factual. And a lot of times people underestimate Virgo's strength because they rule service. They rule the kidneys in the body, the nervous system, of course, with the Gemini. But they're also like the unsung heroes in the sense that they will do the dogmatic work. And what I mean by that, of the three earth signs, we got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Each one of them has a specific, let's say, task that they perform. Okay, Taurus is money, Virgo is more service, and Capricorn is career. And we need service, you guys. We need service. We need people who enjoy being of service. We need people who participate in service. And that's what Virgo does. And here's the thing, it affects each and every single sign in its own unique way. So I'm going to give you a synopsis toward the end for each of the signs. So if you do have a particular sun sign, the sign that you were born into, please put it in the chat toward the end and I will look something up and tell you how Virgo is going to be affecting you with this season coming up. But anyway, so as I was doing the charts, oh, and Virgo also affects the electronics because it's the practical side of the electronics. Gemini is more the communications, like la 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 la, or the Virgo is actually the tech guy that comes to your house and actually shows you how to implement and put everything together. And Virgo is very good at that. They are very good. Like when you can find a Virgo who loves what they do, you found a happy camper because they will be of service to everything else because they're enjoying what they are and what they do and the tasks that they have taken upon themselves. Now, of course, I'm talking about the high regard of Virgo energy and how it could bring you more, I wouldn't even say happiness, but more understanding. Like when you think of a nurse, okay, the nurses, and I'm not saying nobody else can be this, but a good example of a nurse. A nurse practitioner, a true nurse practitioner, needs to be kind. They need to be soft. They need to be considerate. Technically, if you're a leader in any capacity, you should have compassion and understanding for your people so that you can lead them correctly and you can continue to grow. But the example I was giving as a nurse is that they don't see you when you're in a good space. Very rarely do we go to nurses and, hey, I feel great today and I just want to hang out with you. That's not how we do it. We usually come in with a situation or a problem or something we need their assistance on. And if they're very good nurses, if they love what they do, without any prompting, they will take your temperature, they will check your blood pressure, they will ask you questions that are pertinent to how you feel. And that's a perfect example of Virgo energy when it's used properly. Now, I happen to love Virgo, okay? And if I happen to run across a Virgo that I do not love, usually it's because we don't have the same energy. We're not on the same frequency because every sign, you guys, has a high and a low. So when I'm speaking to the highest regard of that sign. Okay. So when you look at Virgo energy, think of because people can say they get on their nerves, they drive them crazy. And maybe they can. I'm not saying that they don't have the capacity to be human because we're all human, right? We all have our flaws and our ups and our downs and everything in between. But what I notice that when you're dealing with the high regard of Virgo, that cleanliness, that organization, that persistence of excellence is what they represent. And that's not a joke and that's not an accident. They are the earth sign and the unsung heroes of astrology. And a lot of times people take them for granted. Like they think they can kind of push them over. A perfect example of that was Richard Gere as an actor. People always consider him to be kind of soft. He is a talented actor, very solid, very devoted, but is very stern in his beliefs. So he doesn't feel the need to go and tell people and have everybody know and discuss everything. He has his own belief system. He stands firm in that belief system and he doesn't waver in that. And I think that's why he's one of the calmest actors that's lasted for so long in the entertainment business. But where do you see Virgo in your chart? Do you know? Yes, I know the sun sign. Everybody knows the sun sign, okay? Because you're born at a certain time. Be like right now, we're in the Virgo season, and it ends on the 19th of September. Then it starts transitioning into Libra, and we'll talk about Libra when we get there as well. But with Virgo, it starts at the mid August, so we're in it right now. The Just my little tidbit: the Virgos that are born at the end of a month that starts with another sign has the flavor of that sign on them. For example, Virgos born at the end of August usually have a little bit more whip ass in them. Like they're a little bit, they got some aggression. They're lovers, but they will whip out their kick ass. It's like the kung fu people. They do not start it. They do not want any battles. But if you bring it to their door, baby, they will be there to serve you. While when we go into the Virgo Septembers that are more of the true, they will bait you out a little longer. They will make sure that they've given you enough rope to hang yourself. So by the time you're done with the September Virgo, you're cooked. Your goose is cooked. Once they decide something, once they've analyzed your behavior, figured out how you're going to do things, they're done. So for my earth signs, which is my Tauruses, my Capricorns, and my Virgos themselves, this time of the year for you guys is very much grounding. It's about you getting yourself organized. It's about getting yourself together. It's about not spending time lollygagging, but analyzing, focusing, and really running the test on what works and what doesn't work, right? And putting those things in perspective, Earth, so that you can stop spinning your wheels, but you actually have hard evidence, like scientific proof of what you're doing. And that is the benefit that earth signs receive right now. Now, Virgo is a mutable sign, so it is subject to continue to grow and shift because mutables are here to keep the peace. They see both sides of the story and they try their best to encompass both of those sides to keep the balance. Now, nobody's perfect. Okay, I'm once again speaking from a high regard. But when you look at the Virgo side for the Earth trilogy, it's one of the most beautiful signs there is. And I'm just saying happy birthday, Virgos. And, don't take your Virgo people for granted. Just because they don't say anything doesn't mean they don't understand. And by the way, they're also extremely psychic. And it's because of their deductive reasoning. They're like the professors that look like they're not paying attention, knocking things over, coming in with half their jacket on and their paper stuff. But all the while, their focus is on the big picture. They're not looking at all the other in between details. They're trying to convey something and they're trying to put that energy out. And that's what Virgo's good at. So for my Earth trilogy right now, if you can, use this time to research and do more organizational stuff within, okay? Because it's imperative that you use the energy that's coming towards you. Because look, whether or not you pay attention to the planets, they're still going to have an effect on you, okay? I've devoted my life basically to understanding those and helping my clients, okay, follow the stars and the rhythm that's around them. And I got to say, 100% of the time, when people are aware of something, they do better. I'm not saying they still don't deal with adversity. I'm not saying things don't still go a little. I'm just saying when you know better, you do better. And let's face it, there's so many different energies happening. Why not learn how to use the energy that you know is coming down from the stars? You can look at them upstairs yourself and use it to your advantage. Use it to your benefit. Make it so that you are moving forward instead of backwards every time there's a retro or every time there's some weirdness going on. Okay? Now, the other aspect is for my water. Okay, my water signs. Now that's my Scorpio, my Pisces, and my Cancer. Virgo goes very well with that energy. Why? Because water and earth grows things, right? That's how we grow our foods. That's how we build our planes. You got to get stuff wet, cement, to let it harden before it becomes something else. So water and earth, it's beautiful, beautiful. I love water and earth. I think it's one of the most, it's called synergies, sextiling. Yes, sextiling. I know, sounds sexy, doesn't it? In astrology, because those two signs, when they come together, I do have to say that for me, Earth sign being a Pisces, I have to love them. I am not gonna. I'm not gonna lie. I have been truly deeply in love with the Capricorn before. That's my ex-husband. My grandmother was a Taurus. I still have nothing but fondness for her because love. And then some of my dearest friends, oldest dearest friends, are Virgos. So from my experience, when you connect with them, like really connect with them, you can make a lifelong friend. Someone that will definitely come pick you up at a desperate time. Say your car breaks down, and or you're having some issues with your family or friends. Call your Virgo. They'll actually, if they can't do it, they'll send an Uber. They may ask for the money later, because they're human, and that's fine. You can work out payment, but they are of service, and they do not like seeing their people hurt. Okay, so for water and earth, Virgo in particular, Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, this is a really good time for you to sow some oats. It's a really good time for you to plant some seeds and think about the long term picture. Like, what are we trying to make happen here? What is our goal? What do we want to see grow in the fall of next year? Because you got to plant a seed, just like you do your affirmations. When you're affirming for your affirmations, you're preparing for the universe to give you what you're asking for. That's what your affirmations are doing. You're actually extending yourself out by affirming, I am beautiful. I am loved. I am successful, happy, and prosperous. And the more people that say this to themselves, the better the world is around them because they're saying something positive instead of saying something derogatory, negative, and just hateful and ugly. Because we got enough of that. We get enough of that. So Virgo for the water signs, mwah, chef's kiss. Now I'm just speaking once again about the sun sign in the highest regard. Fire. Now fire in Virgo is a little bit different because Virgo is going to require fire to think about their actions. Now the fire trilogy is the Aries, the Leo, and the Sagittarius. Okay. Fire signs are action. They are combustible. They move stuff out of the way. They make things happen. Why? Because they rule the actual initiation of fire. Though Virgo does have a fire element as far as the practicality and then the initiation, there is more logic that's going to be coming down from the heavens because we have a lot of fire. We got Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Mercury is also in Leo, Venus is in Leo. So we got a lot of fire. Okay. So it's real important, you guys, that you take some time, even a few seconds, few moments, just to breathe and just think about what you want to initiate. Think about where you are in the audience that you're dealing with. Okay. My grandmother taught me, do not argue with the jackass. And I'd ask her why. She says, because the jackass is not going to let you win. And it's true. If you're in a debate or an argument and there's no common ground, I think about the scene in John Wick, the first one, because it's one of my favorite franchises. And Vigo has gotten John, and it's after the church scene, and he's trying to talk to him. And finally, he says some mean things to John. And John, he finally says, we are cursed men. I don't know if you remember that scene. We are cursed. And I love Keanu Reeves, also a Virgo. Happy birthday, Keanu. Looks up and says, on that, we agree. And even the character of John Wick, just as an example, is a great character of a Virgo energy because he did one thing extremely well and he dedicated his time and energy to that. Well, the actor who plays that role, Keanu Reeves, is a sun sign Virgo that's born at the end of August. I think his birthday's today or yesterday. It's around this time. And I think it's really fascinating because people think that he's a very down to earth man and he rides the subways and he's not afraid of going out in public. Well, would you be afraid either if you had 25 years of training in the martial arts? That literally his hands or feet are registered weapons because he can kill your ass with them. So that's what I said about that Virgo having that discernment of being very quiet and very humble, but carry that big ass stick that if they want to bop you on your head, they can break your neck. Okay, that's a great example of the Virgo energy. So with fire and Virgo, I think seeing that, like the John Wick character, is a great example of someone who has to think through what they're going to do, and then you can't stop them. So fire, these are my Aries, my Leos, my Sagittarius. Doing this cycle, I want you to stop and think through, what are you trying to do? Like, what is your goal here? What are you trying to make happen? And then take a deep breath and then go do it. Because you don't need to throw yourself in harm's way. You don't need to kick up extra unnecessaries. But I can tell you the beautiful part about when you use this Virgo energy to your advantage, you actually get a step up. Because you're not so reactionary to everything that's happening. All right. You're actually breathing and thinking a little bit before you reach for that can of whip ass. Yeah. Okay. Now for my air signs. Now that's my Geminis, my Libras, and my Aquariuses. Virgo makes you physically, because it's got that air quality, but it's the earth side. It actually makes you initiate experimenting. You can't just do the intellectual part because that's what air rules, intellect. You also have to implement. That means putting skin in the game. That means actually going out and trying the new restaurant. That actually means putting together a different recipe. It's initiation for all the air signs. And a great example is that is when someone is doing research, and let's just say they've done the book research, they've gone to the library, they've been on the net. Let's just say how to cook. That's one of my favorites. How to cook bananas properly. Okay. Now, Virgo would actually spend time and buy all the ingredients they need so they can implement it. While the air sign may look at the recipes and, pick up the stuff that's needed, but mostly just kind of think about how they would do it and where they would do it. Well, in this Virgo season, air, you have to put some skin in the game. That means you actually have to get the equipment, make the mistakes, play with the dough, see if the bananas are ripened enough. I mean, because you do have to know the how the energy rolls, so to speak. Okay, you can always throw stuff around, but do you know how to work with what's being given? Mm. See, air can be very philosophical to the point where we all think we know something. We have a clear picture. We got it. And when you actually go to implement, and I think this is one of the toughest things I've seen um, with people, is that we come up with these great ideas and these great goals. But when we go into implementing, learning, harvesting, it can get kind of tough. Yeah, because we still have to maintain what we have, grow. And if you're so blessed to have family, friends, or loved ones, or someone that you care about, you also have to build in time for your people. So you got to do all that stuff and stay on task. And that kind of energy is very special, but it can be very challenging for those who get discouraged. Yeah, you get pissed off. You start saying to yourself, I don't know why I keep doing all this muckety muck, muck, muck. And you know all the details. You know the words you'd be saying. And you slowly start saying so many negative things about yourself that you lose the inspiration that you started with. And then years pass, other things come in, family, friends, work, whatever, survival. And you end up not staying on your own task and later being very resentful. One of the hardest things I see is people that come to California to be in the entertainment business, but they only want to be in front of the camera. They want to be the actor, the next big thing. But to be the next big thing, you got to be committed to your art. You got to be committed to learning the people involved in your art and all the in-betweens to know which direction to go in. So sometimes, because they feel discouraged and they can't get it together or whatever reasons, they end up quitting their dreams or going into another aspect, going into maybe production, right? Behind the scenes. Well, I think that's just as important. Production people make our jobs look easy. Okay. I know I produce on a regular basis, and without lighting, makeup, sound, equipment, location, I mean, it can go on and on and on. You could end up looking kind of shortchanged. Okay. Energetically, though, energetically, when you embrace that, maybe that's the aspect that you enjoy and that you're still wanting to pursue the other, that gives you balance. And sometimes people don't have that. I've seen actors become more production people and then have a little tude, like a little attitude, because they didn't want to be in production, but they're making money, and that security means a great deal to them. There's nothing wrong with that. My daughter is a singer, but she's also a songwriter. And I'm so proud of the fact that she's learning how to publish, and the whole making of the business, how contracts are signed. It's a joy, but it's also because she wants to do it. She wants to make sure she's well rounded in the business, and that's also maturing, you guys. Which I think is another thing that this Virgo season offers us, an opportunity to see where maybe we could grow up a little bit more. Maybe we can learn a couple of things. Maybe we don't need to be so stuck in our ways that that is the only way we do things, and we don't grow into the next level. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, because I'm on my TikTok and I'm on my YouTube, to let me know what sign you are, and I will give you something for just this this Virgo cycle as a little bonus of something you can do and some energy you could use, and just a little bit of stuff that I figured out for the overall signs, just for the sun sign. This is just the zodiac signs based on where the planets are. Okay, so if you want to put that in the chat, I will see if I can answer your questions. Now, on the other side of this, meditating. One of the most beautiful parts about the Virgo energy is them learning how to meditate. Okay, Taurus. I got Taurus. I'm gonna give you something in just a second, Miss Taurus. But oh, and I got a Scorpio. Oh, that is so interesting. I got a Scorpio on my TikTok, and I got a Taurus on my YouTube, and those are the opposite signs. Yeah, you guys are in sync, and they're both fixed, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to start with my Taurus this month, just for the whole month of September. For you, it's going to be about love, creativity, and needing your attention, Taurus. Yeah, that means going someplace with family, friends, boyfriends, or your girlfriends, whatever you got, and actually enjoying yourself and the attention that you receive from others. All right, because this Virgo energy is giving you a chance to just to breathe for a minute and let things take its course, because you can't run everything, Taurus. So just breathe. Now, Scorpio over there. Now, your community and your friendships are going to give you a new opportunity for growth, Scorpio, because Virgo is a friendship sign. It also loves to communicate. Remember, it's ruled by Mercury. So, Scorp. And I know Pluto, and I'm just giving you the overall, so please don't get caught up in the terminologies. I'm just running the numbers in my head. With Pluto being in Aquarius, this Virgo energy, Scorpio, is giving you a chance to be a lot more open to your community, talkative to people, and or just let them talk to you, Scorpio. You know you're fascinating. You know people think you're interesting. So just share a little bit of data. Just let them know if you like a certain ice cream, or if you like a particular show. Just strike a meaningful conversation and let it develop. Okay? Because we all need to stay connected. And if you try to listen to too much of the whatever propaganda that's going on, it can actually make you very sour, because it's sending out information that you may not have enough data on to actually make an informed decision on. Yeah, believe it or not, misinformation is a high real thing. So I also suggest always looking at the source, seeing if it's a consistent source, if it's a valid source, and on and so forth. Because you don't want to make yourself react to something and find out later on that it ain't true, that it's just a bunch of BS and somebody's trying to drive you bonkers, because it does happen. So that's from a Taurus and that's from a Scorpios. Now, in general, if we could do a little bit more for our communities, now I'm going to ask you to do something that I know that all of us can do, and it's going to help the planet and the environment. A little recycling. And that means just going through your home finding stuff that's still clean, new, donating it to an organization, to your church, to whoever you know could benefit. It could even be friends and acquaintances. And maybe doing a little bit more recycling with the plastics and the aluminums. I know those things sound like they're not a big deal, but if all of us did one thing toward it, we can eliminate a lot of the waste that we got going on. So I'm just asking you, as a people, as earth, as a divine light, to see where you can actually be of service in a comfortable way, something that makes you feel good and gives back to people or organizations that you really do feel like would appreciate it. I know we're living through a lot of different times. I have walked the spiritual path and I've talked to my intellectuals. It's very easy to get caught up in the things we can't do. It's more important to focus on the things we can do. There's always going to be somebody with a negative attitude. It's just the nature of the beast. I think sometimes people don't know what to do with their negativity but share it. Mm. Are you drinking your water? 64 ounces in 24 hours is a reasonable amount. I have a friend whose sister is having issues with her kidneys, and a portion of that is her flushing out her system. I know for a fact that she's not drinking enough water. So make sure, because, thank you, Denise. I appreciate you. Mwah, thank you. I hope this is helping as well. Don't forget to like and follow and share. Okay. But energy, you guys, the energy that we need right now on this planet is to be of service to ourselves and to the people we love. All right. And not just dismiss it, not just act like it's not a big deal. One person can make a difference just by holding that line of self respect and dignity, which brings me to another aspect of the Virgo energy. In the body, Virgo rules the kidneys and the waste system. So anytime you start having issues, and the nervous system as well, but primarily the kidneys and digestive parts, gallbladders, that kind of stuff, the stuff that we need that we take for granted, we don't think it's a big deal until it doesn't work. Then the liver and everything else is affected. I mean, our bodies are very brilliantly, uniquely designed by divine design. Doctors can't even figure out how we do some of the things we do. Okay. So when we think about our body doing this Virgo cycle, let's talk about eating clean food. Let's talk about putting a vegetable in our system on a day-to-day basis. Okay. And I'm not talking like you got to go crazy and spend a lot of money. I'm talking like an apple, a banana. Okay. How about a piece of, celery? Simple things, you guys, that can be consumed, carried with you, and it's not that big of a deal. But it would be a huge difference on your system. One of the things that I saw when I was working with my daughter's school, and I was volunteering for a parent organization, which will remain nameless at this moment, was malnourishment. I made a big deal when I had my children to make sure they had fruits, vegetables, they slept 8 hours, they drank their water, they took their vitamins. I was like mama hen because I had someone that did that for me. And that's one of the reasons my immune system is so strong. I may not be the thinnest little girl, but I'm solid. It is no jiggly. It's muscle over here. But that's because of my training and my body type and me accepting that I needed to eat on a regular basis. Now, I mean, if I go too long without a certain amount of nutrients, I don't feel good, right? My skin gets dry, my body feels wore down. And when I started looking at it, did I have my carrots today? Did I eat my banana today? Did I eat my kale salad? You understand? And these things are not expensive. And one of the things that I saw when I was working for this organization voluntarily was the lack of nutrients. Like some kids just did not know how to eat a vegetable. And their parents would say, what's the big deal? It's a huge deal when the body's growing. And I personally think it's why some people lose their ever loving minds because you're not eating right. Therefore, you're not sleeping right. So how the heck are you supposed to make a good decision? And then you add life stress and maybe not having the coolest parents or the nicest people around you. It's enough to stress out even the most benevolent soul. So during this Virgo season, I'm going to ask you to do another thing for me outside of the recycling within your house and giving to the family, friends, organizations that you care for. I'm going to ask you to take care of you. Mhm. I'm going to ask starting today for you just to look at what you're putting in your mouth and how is it making your body feel? I mean, let's just stop and think about that for a moment. You put gas in a car, right? And you make sure the gas is in the car so you can go wherever you need to go. Hell, you even clean the car to make it look nice so you look nice while you're in the car. Do you do the same for your body? Are you taking the time to spend that little extra time to make sure your body is getting the basic nutrients that it needs on a day to day basis? How's your sleeping? Are you taking enough calcium in? Doesn't have to be milk. Broccoli has more calcium than milk. Did you know that? You have B12 in a banana. You know what B12 does? It calms your nervous system. And the potassium gives your blood a chance to boost up. And it's a filler. Bananas are a filler because it's got water in it, moisture. So it actually can help you lose weight because you feel full and satiated because it's sweet, but a natural sweet, not an artificial sweet that your body can actually process and familiar. See, Spirit gave us everything, guys. We have everything down here. All the resources we need to not only thrive, survive, and do extremely well. But we have to use those resources, starting with just simple decisions for self. You don't have to discuss this with anybody. You don't have to debate people. You don't have to try to get people to do it with you. I think that's the sad part is sometimes you want to share with family and friends, but they need to see you be that example first. So I'm going to ask you during this Virgo season to really just stop and look at what you're putting in your mouth. Just take a snapshot. You know, if you stop by a hamburger place, just take a picture of the hamburger. Then later on, maybe 2 hours, see how that hamburger made you feel. Was it worth it? Now, another little trick is while you're out, just add a few more vegetables to whatever you're going to buy. If you're going to do a hamburger, add an extra tomato, maybe pickles on the side, extra lettuce. These are all water-based things that's going to moisturize your body, which in turn is going to make your body feel more at ease and more relaxed. And you know you don't want to be full of poo-poo. You know what I mean? Poo-poo, because you ain't poo-pooing enough. I'm trying to say that in the nicest way possible. But the body needs these things. And if we can spend time making sure our vehicles and our aesthetics look well, we need to also take time to make sure our body feels well. Make sense? So, doing this Virgo cycle for all zodiac signs, okay? Work on recycling and being of service somewhere. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be over the top. It just needs to be someplace where you feel comfortable. When you're going through your stuff, see if you really need all the stuff you have. Like I have things that we're going to be donating this weekend that are in great condition. I just don't need them anymore. I've outgrown them. I don't like them. I don't need them. And so I'm just going to give them someplace that somebody can use them. Recycling of the earth. Hey, that's simple. Take some aluminum cans from a party, throw in the recyclable bin at your local grocery stores. Most of them do have some sort of recycling program. Now, I personally, because we do have places here we can recycle, but sometimes I just leave bags of recyclable items next to any disposable can or things like that, because I know there's people that actually collect at the car wash. There's a gentleman that's there all the time that is collecting cans, and he's been doing it for years. And he says he makes pretty decent, chump change with it. And so whenever I'm going to go, I grab a couple of items that I know, a couple of cans, a couple of plastic, because I know we do use it. So I do recycle as my give back because I think that's fair. But if you can't do it, then pass it along to someone else who can. Is that so hard? I'm asking, is that hard for you to just give back? Just let me know in the comments. To be of service to someone else, not like a slave, but actually giving because you want to give, and then receiving because it's in kindness. The other thing is Virgo is extremely psychic, god dang it. It's one of the most psychic signs in the zodiac. And its psychic ability is based on its logic, but also its observations. Virgo will take note of everything you're doing and never say a word. They will not say a word. And people think because they are so genuinely kind that they're suckers, that they can be taken advantage of. Like, They're easily manipulated, and that is so far from the case. Even if you think you have one licked and you understand, they will come up with something you least expected, or even worse, they will leave your ass alone. Makes me so happy to get. Exactly. Because giving and receiving is a part of the cycle of life. As long as it's within healthy boundaries, why shouldn't we do it? Look, we're living in a time where people got me all over it, which is, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, long as in balance. But I know when I put out energy and I get it back, I'm always tickle pink. You know, I want people to see me coming and smile and not run away and close their doors. And if they do feel that need, then they cause that for themselves, because that's not the energy that I'm bringing to the table. Virgo time shows us how to serve, how to be of service. Now, I've created a program called the Guided Astrology Program that actually is a weekly Zoom link that I put out every single week that gives you play by play, like a weather forecast of the elements, the signs, affirmations, aromatherapy, my notes, and hell, I even give you some insight as to some best date that you can do things, your challenging days, your best days. And this information has taken me quite some time to compile. And I use the basis of the applications that I've had over the years. I've had over 5,000 or 1,000 sessions. So I use the astrology charts from all of my people. And that is what I base the GAP program on. We nicknamed it the GAP. Now, the intro price is only $9.99. You can check it out at Candles by Ari. And then it's $29.99 a month. And it's ongoing membership, but it's like getting a forecast of what the astrology weather will be like for you this week. And let me tell you, for $29.99, that's the base membership. We have some that go up. Let me put it like this. One of my students used her best date to ask for a raise. Now, she wasn't sure she was going to get it. She wasn't even sure she had the courage to ask, but she knew it was a date that she had the most power. So she went in and she sat down and she talked to her boss. And guess what he said? She asked for more work to experiment to see if she can manage it. He told her that he was actually in the process of transferring somebody else into another division. So he needed someone to take over that position temporarily. And she said she'd be flattered. But you know what he said? Because she came to him first, he would consider her to be at the top of the application. And that when time came, most likely he would put her in that position and it would be a bump in pay. Well, 2 weeks later, she got it. He not only gave her the confirmation, but he gave her the bump in salary. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Knowing that date, having that strength, and just using her courage to step into that arena. She said she wouldn't have done it otherwise. And that's what insight gives you, that added little nudge of courage, that added little nudge of, hey, they can't kill me. They may not like me, but they can't kill me. And that's what we need to do, especially as you grow down here as a human. You can't keep making the same mistake and act like it's some new shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to own the fact that sometimes it's you. It's you. Something in that you like, and you need to stop liking it because it don't like you. Now, I got a cousin that loves onions. Onions do not like her. Every time she eats them, she has digestive problems, her head hurts, and she pretty much overall is in a funky mood. You think that she wouldn't eat them based on that? Every family get together, every cookout, I see her over there putting onions on something, and she's the one who told me that she had a digestive problem with onions, especially raw onions, and she loves them. Now, I'm going to make her pickled onions for this holiday season because I think I can soften the acidity and make it a little bit less harsh for her system. But that's just me trying to be a helpful cousin. But you get the gist of it. Sometimes we like stuff that doesn't like us, and then we keep doing it because it's familiar. It's just a habit at that point. Who's going to break that habit? Nobody. We have to do it. We have to make a conscious decision not to go backwards anymore. And the GAP program can help you with that. So definitely check that out. I also have a new free report on Mercury in Leo. Yeah, it just came out last week and it's absolutely free. You can check it out at candlesbyari.com. And it's my synopsis of what's going on. in the astrology world for Leo. It's just for the Leo Mercury. I do have another free report I'm working on for next month, and it's going to be a comprehensive report for the whole month for every single sign. And it will be absolutely free, and I will have more information about that coming up very, very, very shortly. I'm actually excited because doing what I do, I get a chance to see people change their lives, change their mindset. And you'd be very surprised how even people you think are so smart and maybe have so many opportunities on the outside that do not feel the same way that you think they should. Like they should be happy because, let's just say they came from a very sophisticated family. And just because the family was sophisticated doesn't mean that they grew individually into their own sophistication. Okay? So even though they've had the opportunity, been around the opulence, it's the family's opulence, not theirs. And I think that's where we have our biggest challenge is trying to keep up with this invisible like measuring stick of what everybody's supposed to be. Okay? Instead of being who we are and being thankful and grateful that we have the choice to live another day, to get up without anything making us get up. And more importantly, to be kind because we can be kind. We don't have to be, we choose to be. Does that make any sense? Give me a thumbs up if it's making any sense. And I think it starts within you because I know mental illness is real. I've seen it. There are a certain number of people who are just mentally jacked up, chemically, psychologically, emotionally, for whatever reasons. And maybe they can't get their head out of their ass. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you for that confirmation. Appreciate it. Because sometimes, you can do the best you can and still get the short end of the stick. I know I've done it. I've worked my tushy off and nothing worked. But guess what? The confidence, the understanding that I got later benefited me in ways that I couldn't have imagined without going through that challenge. Think about it as a metaphysical boot camp, right? There's things you have to go through mentally so that you can step into this world and not only own your light, but be a light to others. Because I'm telling you, darkness loves to keep you in chaos. They love to keep you in confusion. They love to keep you in doubt. They make you question. Oh, I've seen them. And some of them are so good. They're such professional liars, like the best of it, because that's all they do, guys. That's all they do is sit back and tell their tale and spin their nonsense. And if you don't know how to research or don't know how to ask questions or don't have competent people in your corner that can say, that don't make no sense, you can fall for it, especially when it's family and friends, because you want to trust them. You want to believe them. You want to be close to them. And sometimes you just can't. I'm in LA today. It's a little muggy. It's still about 80, but it's muggy, not humid, but overcasty, and makes you want to like go sit by the pool or get in the pool. I may go to the beach later because it's kind of like eat. But anyway, as we go through this Virgo season, my goal is to have you guys be mentally and spiritually prepared so that you can enjoy the quality of your life and keep shining, keep growing, keep doing things that make you a better person. I operate with products and services. We're going to be doing meditation class this Sunday through Zoom. All my work is through Zoom. And you can go to my website, candlesbyari.com. It's a mindful guided meditation by me. No one speaks. Okay? You do not have to say a word. I take you into your inner space within yourself and within your being. A lot of people feel like they're hypnotized. And when you come out, you're on the other side of refreshed, which gives you a chance to just be and centered and relaxed. Please join me for that class. It's Sunday, August 31st, 2025 at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. You can register on site. And even if you don't make it to class, I have a library that's available to my VIPs of all my meditations that we've done over the years. And I have to say, even when I re-listen to them, because I listen to my own meditation classes, sometimes in the evening when I just need to relax, I still go deep into hypnotic sleep because it's just important to have that release, you guys. Sleep is so important. And that's another thing I'm going to ask you during this Virgo season is to please take better care of your body and your mind. Give it the chance to relax and rest. Go for a walk, take a nap, Do stuff to let the mind and body sync up instead of making yourself do things and forcing yourself to be places. And maybe being a little happier with who you are, accepting where you are at this moment and knowing that you're going to do better and that you're going to keep growing. So I'm going to do this recap before we end this session. Okay? Earth signs. It's a great time for you. It's a great time. Oh, thank you, Miss Lopez. She says the meditation of the best. She's been a student of the arts for quite some time. Earth, this Virgo season, mm, for my Tauruses, since my Taurus did ask me, I got my notes for them. Hold on. Taurus, love creativity and enjoy the attention. Go out and get yourself some attention and enjoy it, okay? Now, for my water signs, this is my Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancers. It's a time for growth. With Virgo energy and water, you can plant some seed that's earth and water coming together that will grow going into this next year. Because in 6 months, we'll be in the Pisces season. So think of it there. You're planting a seed, you're harvesting, you're putting that love and light into it, and you let it grow. For my fire, this is the time for you to slow your jets, man. Slow your jets. All right. Give yourself a chance to think before you jump to the next level. Give yourself a moment to consider. Use your logic, not just your action. Going back to the water for my Scorpios, just remember to enjoy your community and grow your new friendships. Just let people come talk to you. Share an interesting thing, a story, a movie that you like, and just see who would be interested in discussing it in more details with you. For my air, this is a time for you not to be so intellectual, but you actually roll up your sleeves and get in there. Yeah, the theories are over now, air. That's my Gemini, my Libra, and my Aquarius. It's time for you to put some skin in the game. And that means if you make mistakes and things don't work, that's a part of the experiment. Virgo is about being of service. It's about harvesting and giving to others as you want them to give unto you. It's a beautiful sign. Happy birthday, Virgos. I know you're underrated. Think about the John Wick. That's a perfect example because Keanu Reeves is a Virgo sun sign. And he is an actor, but he is also a well crafted martial artist that he has put pretty much his whole career on and has made quite a bit of money doing it. But he loves it. And he, as far as I have heard, has been nothing but of service and has done a lot of great things for people. And he sponsors hospitals. So people that are sick can go be taken care of at no cost to them because he has the kind of money and he has no problem doing it. So if you can find a way to be of service this season, recycling some of the things in your home, be it clothes, items, things that you don't need, maybe recycling a couple of bags of aluminum, putting them out for, people who do recycle to take and or taking them places where they can be recycled. Concentrating on what you're putting in your mouth, that would be extremely important. Just think about it. When you eat something, just see how it makes you feel. Just take a picture of it. We got these smartphones. And then see in a couple hours, is my digestive tract cool? Am I having some issues? And get enough sleep, you guys. I can't emphasize how important it is to rest. And join me for meditation, guys, this Sunday. And take a look at the gap. It's only $9.99 for an intro. Try it for 30 days and see the benefits for yourself. You want to continue, it's $29.99 a month. And that's basically going to Starbucks 3 times. But don't you want the forecast of where your mentals and the energy that's coming towards you? Like I said, regardless if you pay attention to the signs or not, to the planet, the signs, the stars, they still going to affect you. So why not be prepared for the energy that's coming towards you? That's my logic. And the clients and people that have helped over the decades have proven how important it is for their mental and spiritual well-being. And you are important too. Invest in yourself. So I'm going to end this with saying happy birthday to all of my Virgies, wherever you are. And I hope people are celebrating you. And if nobody else said it, I love you. And to all my signs, please just take time. This episode will be up on the YouTube pretty instantly, so take a peek at it. TikTok, I may take a couple of pieces and put it up as well. But, this is my honor and privilege to do this every week. We have classes. I do one-on-one sessions. It's an honor to see people's lives change through their own spiritual and faith within themselves. And that's not religion, that's faith that you can do better and you can grow for you. So I thank you for sharing this time with me today. I salute the divine in you, and I hope wherever you are blessed and highly favored. Namaste. I see you guys next week. Bye. Bye. Thank you as well. Bye.